Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy July 5th. I hope everybody out there had a phenomenal 4th of July. I heard the weather was absolutely spectacular in Southern California. And oh my gosh, the fishing on the Huntington Beach Flats was the best. I can't, I can't emphasize it enough. It was the best that it's ever been. Talking to some of the sport boat captains and talking to some of our members of our website, the sand bass decided to cooperate big time. Not that they haven't been cooperating already, but my goodness, it was just a phenomenal day of fishing out there. Yeah, that's a great guitar riff. That's our buddy Ron and Marcus put that together for us, Darren. Thank you very much. That'll wake you up in the morning, get you going, get you on the show, let you know we're ready to rock and roll. But gang, the fishing right now in Southern California is phenomenal if you got anchovies. If you don't have anchovies, it's pretty tough fishing, I'll tell you. It's pretty tough fishing. I know a lot of you love those giant sardines, and they're great if you don't want to catch any fish. They are an excellent bait. If you just want to cast around and make it look like you know how to cast, they're a great bait for that. But I hike 10, 12 miles in the Sierras to catch a trout as big as those sardines. It doesn't make sense to me. And I know there'll be a time maybe in August, September where we need those giant sardines for bait, but us in Southern California, we don't need it. Yeah, the day and a half, the 2-day, the 5-day, the 18 days, they need them. We don't need the giant sardines for bait here in SoCal. We need the anchovies, because there's our good buddy Matt Ryan. You guys got to watch him live fishing the sand bass the other day. Our buddy Ron's been out there. Erica Gray went out there the other day. I got some great pictures of our members out there doing it, going out there and fishing for the fish that live in Southern California. There's our good buddy Jimmy. He listened to the game plan. He wanted to go try to catch a bluefin. He went out there. Now, this bluefin thing, gang, you got to understand. The industry's been trying to get people to go fishing for, since pretty much April. They've been trying to get you out there. This bluefin's biting pretty dang good if you know how to fish. You got to be really, really, really good. I know you all are super good fishermen, but you better be good at deploying the kite. You better be quick at casting the popper. You better be quick at casting the surface iron. You better be ready, and you better be very, very good at what you do if you want to catch this bluefin. Jimmy went out there. He couldn't even find a bluefin, followed the plan, but he found a beautiful kelp patty with that nice grade yellowtail on that kelp. So he was rewarded. But this is the game. This is what's going on in Southern California. There's another happy member of Your Saltwater Guide, Jason, there with a beautiful white-bellied sand bass. See the belly on that thing? That's a highly migratory sand bass on the Huntington Beach Flats. He followed the game plan. There's our buddy Ron. Ron is pretty much going every day right now because this is just historic. We haven't seen this bite in 20 years. I know one of you saw it last year, but you forgot to tell anybody. No, really, to be perfectly honest, we haven't seen this in 18 years, to be perfectly honest with you. These white-bellied sand bass migrate from Mexico. Something you have to remember when you're telling the story, because remember, the Fish and Wildlife do not want you fishing for these. The Fish and Game Commission tried to shut this fish down and say it was extinct. And I went to every one of those meetings and I got you all rallied up and we tried to explain to them it's a highly migratory fish. They said it's not a migratory fish. Well, there it is, another white-bellied sand bass. They are a highly migratory fish. There you go. Erica Gray was out day before yesterday, and she had a beautiful day out there fishing. They threw back 50 fish after they caught their limits. It was just wide open fishing. So if you're not taking advantage of this, and you're just into burning massive amounts of fuel and driving around the ocean, have at it, gang. Good luck. Have fun. But the bluefin fishing is good on the sport boats with a sonar and a ton of bait and a ton of really good fishermen. Yeah, it's great fishing if you can get on a 2-day or a day and a half or something and get out there. It's fun fishing. But as far as the private boaters, if you're not real efficient with the kite and the casting and all that stuff, stay on the beach and catch some fish and have some fun, gang. I'm telling you, the fishing is phenomenal on the beach right now. Calico bass fishing's insane on the edges of the kelp. If you have the anchovies, it's really fun fishing, gang. You need to get out there and you need to go do it. I am just every day putting the game plans out, doing a podcast. All I'm trying to do is help you guys to utilize your boat and to have fun and not burn a phenomenal amount of fuel. But then again, if you want to burn all that fuel, I have a game plan for everybody every day where the fish are. And you can go out there and do the National Geographic thing and go look at them. They're kind of cool to look at. But you better be really good at fishing if you're going to catch one. That's all I'm saying. If you're just still learning, go practice on this sand bass. Go catch 1,000,000 sand bass and have a good time. And that's what's going on out on the water today. We have a super special guest with us today. This young lady, I've been following her career for a very long time. Her and I end up in the same places a lot of times together. We're both shocked when we see each other. Like, I didn't know you were going to be here. I didn't know you were going to be here. And then there we are. Wherever there's fish to be had, that's where you're going to find this young lady. Or wherever they're talking fishing, you're going to find her. We're going to bring her on the show right in a second here. And you guys, I want to introduce Jolene to the group. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
I'm happy to have you with us. This is a big deal. I'm very, very happy to have you here. I've seen you on Phil Freeman's show. I've heard you on Let's Talk Hookup, and I've been at some of those silly meetings you and I go to. But here we are, live and in person on a beautiful Saturday morning. It looks like you're in a beautiful spot.
I'm at home right now, but I'm super excited to be on your show, and I really admire you, and I watch your show all the time. I finally joined the membership for $5 a month, and I'm really thrilled.
Thank you, Jolene. Welcome to the show. So you've had a pretty long career in this industry. You pretty much like me. You grew up in the industry. We didn't have much of a chance, right?
Right.
This was going to be it. So let's talk about how you got in here, where you came from, your mom, your dad, all the great influences. Let's start when you were little. When did you get introduced to this fish thing?
Okay, well, I'll start with my mom and my dad.
All right.
My dad was born in Newport Beach, as my grandfather was too, and they were very fishy. This picture here is a marlin they caught in 1971 out of Oceanside Harbor on my grandpa's boat. My parents had a boat. My grandparents had a boat at Oceanside Harbor. And primarily the first time, I can't even recall the first time I ever had a rod in my hand, of course, but we moved to Oceanside in 1964, and my grandparents moved to Acadia in the late 1950s, so we followed them down this way. And Oceanside Harbor was built in I think it was 1964, and my dad worked at the landing. My grandmother was a galley cook on the America with Cookie Cook, and there's a picture I sent you of me and Cookie Cook with a yellowtail. And my mom, I had long hair, but my mom back then, she gave me this pixie, and I looked like a boy. But anyway, we went to the harbor every weekend, hung out on our boats. I have a younger brother named Frank Chapman, and him and I, we were on our bellies getting mussel, from the docks. We had a dinghy that we would row around the harbor and fish, and we actually learned how to swim off our dock in life jackets at first, and it was just a great childhood growing up.
I want to stop you for a second, gang. Those of you that don't know, the America now is the Grande. Now, when I was a little boy and they took the America, the Freedom, and the Liberty, and they took them down to Oceanside. And I remember going in my dad's old station wagon from the San Clemente Pier down to go see these giant boats that were built by Dietmar Donaldson. And he's like, son, we got to go look at these boats. They just brought them down to Oceanside, and we came down there. The McCulloughs were running Oceanside Landing at the time. And I remember I was just overwhelmed by the size of these sport fishing boats. Weren't they? They were massive at the time. We never seen anything like that, Jolene.
Yeah, they were built by Ditmar and up in Costa Mesa. And my dad and Ditmar hung out as young kids fishing and being pinheads on some of the Newport Beach boats.
Wow, that's some history there,
Yeah.
gang. If you look up what she's talking about, go Google it after the show or however you look up stuff. Ditmar Donaldson was the #1 boat builder in Southern California. About 80% of the sport boats back in the day were built by Ditmar. The Searcher, that was built by Bill Pull. That's a Ditmar Donaldson boat. And the Freedom, the America, the Liberty, the Seahorse, just a Fisherman 3. If you just keep going down and down, you're just going to be blown away. The Tribute, all these boats were built by Ditmar Donaldson. It was an incredible company. And your dad got to hang out with those guys. How incredible is that?
Yeah, definitely, in a lot of history. And you know, it's sad that they changed the name of the America to the Grande, you know, because it's like over 60 years old. They were built like in the early 60s, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, they were. I was probably 5 years old when we drove down in the station wagon to go look at these boats that they put in the water. The McCulloughs, they came to Oceanside, and that's when the guys in Ocean. I talked to Charlie La Esperanza, and I talked to a couple of the older guys from back in the day. And when those boats showed up, it was a big. The Bacons, Mel Bacon and David, his son David, and that was a big deal. These boats came from San Pedro down there, and they brought the tuna thing, and no one had seen any of that stuff. And it was just a big deal to bring those boats, and you were there.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I was just born into saltwater, I guess you could say. And my mom has a lot of history. She didn't really fish, but my grandfather was a fish and game officer in 1937 and was in Watsonville, California. And then they moved to Santa Barbara, and he became a hard hat diver for abalone and urchins at Stearns Wharf. And also my mom worked at Stearns Wharf like as a young teenager making abalone boxes to ship abalones in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Gang, back in the day, we were allowed to get abalone. Now there's a billion abalone in the ocean, and you're not allowed to touch them. It's pretty crazy.
I know. We used to eat abalone all the time.
If you've never tried an abalone, gang, it's an incredible meal. It making my mouth water just thinking about it.
Right. And so my mom and my grandfather, they moved to Newport Beach, and he continued to be a hard hat diver in Newport Beach. And I remember I was probably like 4 years old. We went to the abalone factory, and I see this big pile of shells on the ground, and I just remember the smell, you know, how I go, ooh, you know. So, yeah. So my mom and dad have a lot of fishing history.
I guess so. And then your dad, when he was hard hat diving in Newport, was he diving abalone in Newport too?
Yeah. Yeah, my grandfather. Yeah.
Our grandfather. Oh my gosh, how incredible. Yeah. To think about that. The people that are living in Newport right now and around the area, you don't think of Newport as a fishing town, but my dad used to tell me stories. There was 47 sport fishing operations, landings in Newport at one time. And then the old cannery there, that was an actual real working cannery. That's the restaurant now, but that was a real cannery. And as you went down the walkway, there was just fish house after fish house after fish house. And that's kind of where you grew up, right?
Oh, well, actually, I didn't grow up in Newport Beach. I grew up in Oceanside. My parents moved to Oceanside in 1964. Okay. And I still live here today. And I'll probably never leave.
Beautiful place, Oceanside. They've done a lot of changes there, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, it's crazy now. I grew up by the beach my whole life, and now I live about 5 miles east, and I really like it out here because it's nuts.
And our hats off to our military, because Oceanside was pretty much built for the United States Marine Corps. That's kind of what built Oceanside, gang, if you think about it. And I'm happy to have Jolene here, and I'm wearing the War Heroes on Water shirt this morning to celebrate our freedom and our men and women. And you're kind of in the heart of it. That Camp Pendleton borders San Clemente and Oceanside, and that's pretty much where all the military families grew up, right there in Oceanside, right?
Yeah, a lot of people I know, their dads were in the Marine Corps.
And that is such a great thing. And the day when we were kids growing up, we didn't quite understand. We didn't get that whole, at least I didn't. And then now we celebrate our military on a daily basis, which is really cool that we've come full circle, and it's pretty spectacular. What they've done to Oceanside, though, is pretty cool. That harbor is gorgeous. If you go down there, gang, if you haven't been to Oceanside, it's a hidden little gem on the coast, right, Jolene? And you can be out in the ocean fishing in 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk.
You know, we that El Nino of 2015. We had wahoo going right like 3 miles out, and me and a friend were fishing on his 17-foot Parker, and we caught one. And also, I don't think it happened last year or this year, but we had bluefin. When I worked on the Electra, no, I was working on the Southern Cal. We went out on a 10 o'clock trip, and we were 1.5 miles out, and one of the deckhands actually caught like a 50-pound bluefin 1.5 miles out. And it was like unreal. And that was during the El Nino. And then, you know, probably was that the last El Nino besides the one that was a couple years ago?
Absolutely, yes. That was it.
Yeah, and all the Dorado you wanted. So, yeah.
And if you guys take a look at it, Navionics or something, you look at the chart, the really, and Jolene knows this, and the people that fish out of there, Oceanside's kind of a unique little spot because there's no pressure. It's too far north for San Diego. It's too far south for Dana Point. So Oceanside's got this little niche, and they got the 312 bank right in front of pretty much right in front of the harbor. You put the boat in gear, and then you let it drift, and you're on the 312, and then you got bluefin and yellowfin and Dorado, and you don't see a lot of boats there, right?
Oh no. And you know, it's really sad that they put the closure at Swami's, like from Solana Beach to Moonlight Beach. You know, that was such a good fishing area. There used to be a lot of kelp, and then they close it, and like it takes too long to get to that area from Oceanside, and San Diego sure isn't going to fish that area.
Yeah, that's one of those closures that just, for you and me, just pisses us off, for lack of a better word, gang. It's because it's for no reason at all. And as you guys, those of you that have been following me for a long time, you know I'm fighting this fight for all of you. And I have most of my members are involved in this fight because they're on a mission to stop us from fishing, Jolene.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And
we got to join CCA. Everyone should join CCA. It's $40. And it helps every individual.
And it's super important to have a voice in the fight. But also, besides CCA, Jolene, we need to show up to these meetings. And we can do that now with the Zoom. The ability to go on a Zoom meeting. You can get on it from your phone and be a member and stop them. Because when they tried to take our sand bass away, I rallied the troops pretty good. We had 150 of our members show up to that meeting and scared the living crap out of them. They didn't know people actually cared about sand bass. It's not about sand bass. It's about losing places like Swami and Laguna Beach and most of Catalina. And it goes on and on and on. But let's not, we got you here today. I don't want to get too negative. You're pretty.
Talk about that later.
Yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So when did you decide as a little girl that you wanted to get into this industry? Your parents were in the industry. Your grandpa was in the industry. Did you think when you were little, I want to be in this industry?
Well, it's funny. You know, like I was fishing up till I was about 13. And then I got a job at a liquor store in Oceanside for 5 years, you know. and my parents separated. And then, so when I really got back into fishing was in 1981, and I love this subject because I was neighbors with Mark Arnos, and I knew what he did, and we would say hi to each other. And then this one day I was fishing on the bait dock, like sort of out of the blue, and he rolls up in the brand new Electra, and he sees me on the bait dock. It was a PM half day, and he says, "Get on the boat." And so I have been fishing every year since 1981, so that's 44 years. And so I got to go on the boat all the time. We had El Nino. Was that 82 or 83?
83.
83. And then before that, we were catching tons of albacore. And, after the El Nino, tons of albacore up until the last one I caught was in 2009 out of Oceanside. And me and Mark became great friends. And what happened was he got bumped off the Electra so Joey Helgren could, run it. And so he had to buy his own boat. And so he bought the Tortuga and from Charlie Lesbrunz. And so a lot of us, surfers and friends that went on the Electra with him, we're going with Mark on the Tortuga because he was so good. And I remember this one trip, it was Halloween night, and a bunch of us got together, and he took us down to Mexican waters. And I brought a pumpkin and lit it, and it was like a swimming pool, flat glass. And we go into Point Loma and get bait, and we went down to Mexico and loaded up on yellowfin tuna.
Nice.
And that was one of a great memory. And then a few years later, I started having my own charters on the Tortuga with Mark, and then he bought the Voyager, and it was at Oceanside, and he wasn't there long, and he went down to Seaforth with John Yamati, and started doing his chartering business out of Seaforth. And then not long after that, he bought the Pacific Voyager. And I go, oh my God, this is going to be pricey, but it wasn't, And I would do day and a halves, then it jumped to 2-day trips. And Mark got the Pacific Voyager in 2002. And one trip I got to mention is that year we were 85 miles down, and we were catching albacore on 25-pound test. And then these bluefin show up. Like everyone's like, breaking off, getting spooled, or some guy will just hang on for life. And so we bumped up to 40, and I borrowed Pete Gray's Trinidad 40, and we caught 41 albacore and 104 bluefin tuna they were all double gaffers. They ranged from 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100 pounds, and that was crazy. And
oh my
so
God.
I've been.
That is the coolest story about albacore fishing. Most people don't understand because they haven't got to see it, Jolene. So when you're standing there in the corner and you're catching an albacore on 25-pound, the next thing you know, you throw your bait in the water on the corner, and here comes a Volkswagen swimming through, right?
Yep, for sure.
All right, then, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're fine. And so, like I've been chartering with Mark, for 35 years, and I have 2 days, a June 1st, a July 1st, and a 3-day September 1st. And I tell you, I don't know what it is, but we always have great trips. And my 2-day last week was awesome. Mark has retired now, and he sold the boat to Max Newey. And Max Newey is on fire, as I say. He's 21 years old, the same crew primarily, and he gets the job done. And he's a pleasure to be with. We ended up we left last Sunday night, the 29th, and then we started fishing at 3 a.m, and we picked up 22 bluefin tuna, and then the next night we started fishing around 9, and it was a 3-hour drift, and we got 37. and there was 35 bluefin tuna, over 100 pounds up to about 150, and it was crazy. I was tail wrapped to a tuna, man. I thought it was like a cow, but it was tail wrapped, and I never pulled on anything that hard before, and I don't have a cow in my back pocket yet, but that's okay. I don't really care. And yeah, we lost a lot of fish. We lost one guy lost 2 tungsten jigs, and so we ended up with 60 bluefin, and we had 4 daytime fish. And I got one of those daytime fish because I was using a 50-pound Spectra and 20-pound Flora mono, and I got it in, and that was fun. Like I love my special catches. It's really cool.
That is a pretty special catch, getting a daytime tuna. Gang, you don't understand. It hasn't been daytime fishing. It's all been at night. Jolene, kind of explain to everybody that's watching. A lot of people haven't experienced. We have a lot of private boaters on our site and on our show, but explain to what it's like being on a sport boat with like-minded people, because you put together great groups to fish with you, and you have a lot of young ladies that fish with you, and y'all work together. It's kind of a cool thing. Explain to everybody how you decide who gets to go on the Jolene charters, because it's kind of a unique thing to get to go with her. And Lisa, you should listen, because you're big time into fishing, and this is the group you should be hanging out with. This is a great group of young ladies.
Yeah, well, I've never been without a full charter. I take 17 plus myself. And so, for instance, my first 2-day charter this year, I was sort of pressured because the bluefin weren't really biting, and when that happens, no one's saying yes. I want to go, and so they started biting a little bit more in May, I believe, and so I'll put out my information on SoCal Sports Fishing, and I ended up having like 12 people out of 18 that had never been on my charters before, and I knew 7 of them, and the other 5 came from Facebook. And I tell you, this was like like the perfect storm. This was the perfect trip. Everyone fished good together. Camaraderie was great. The weather was great. I forgot how many we caught, but we caught, I don't know. There was one that was 190. That was caught by a guy from Newport Beach and his girlfriend, and I have a list of people, and so I try to get the people. I asked them if they've been on my trip last year, like say in June or July. I asked them if they want to go, and then if I have opening spots, I'll throw it on Facebook, and word of mouth will gather everyone together, and we have a great time.
The thing that I want to emphasize on, though, Jolene, is you can't control the fishing, but you can control the people on the boat. And that's kind of a unique thing about your trips, is everybody's having a good time getting along. It's a bunch of like-minded people. There's no, for lack of a better word, we like to call that person Bob. There's no Bobs on the boat.
Yeah, there was a couple Bobs on my last trip.
Uh-oh, they're not coming back.
They got their ass kicked. They've never flat fall fished before. It was, that you gotta get on the boat and get experience.
Don't you love those guys that show up and they know everything already?
Oh yeah. Oh, I fished down in Baja. Whatever.
We all know who you are because it gets revealed the minute you drop your lure in the water.
Yeah, I tell you, Evan, the second captain that started as a deckhand, he just says, "Oh my God, Jolene, another great trip." And I sort of pray for good weather, and if it's snotty out, it's snotty out, and we still go. But I don't like the heavy gust, and you know, it's just Mother Nature,
Yeah, you can't control the weather, you can't control the fishing, but you
Yeah.
can control those 18 people that are on the boat, one being you and then the rest. And if you don't fit into the group, guess what? You're not coming on a Jolene charter next
No,
time.
no bobs.
Oh, Bob's, and I'm sorry,
Yeah,
gang, but
and the girls that I bring, I fish together with, like my June trip. I had there was 5 of us, and my one friend Janine, she doesn't have any experience, but she likes to go, and she's, we're getting her on a 3/4 day, maybe a full day, and I also have an all girls trip I go on every year, and I've met a lot of great, really good friends now, and some of those girls were on the boat. This last trip, I had Joel and Nikki Gamester. They're from Oceanside, and they are great fishermen. And they went on my first trip, and they both caught 4 bluefin. And Nikki is like 5'11", and I have a picture of her in the middle, and Kelly, Auburn Castaneda, who's a great lady angler, and me, and Nikki is like, she's like stepping on her tippy toes, trying to look over the tail of her fish. Yeah.
yeah.
This picture was a fun trip. This is like one of the first full day trips on the Liberty. And that's Kyoko on the left and Carrie Costa on the right. And it's a memorable trip, and yeah, it's fun.
It's just a blast to hang out with you, and it's because of where you and I have been and where we came from, and we appreciate everything now where we didn't for a little while. So we're at a point in our lives where we appreciate just being on the water,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Oh, yes. Like I booked a trip on the I went on the Navigante out of Redondo Beach about 4 weeks ago, and that was a fun trip. We caught limits of white sea bass. I caught a 27-pounder, and then we went to Catalina and we had live squid. And then I'm trying for halibut the whole time because I don't care about catching, little calicles. Like I don't care about that. It's just me. And so the captain says we got 10 more minutes, and Michael is his name. And 5 minutes later, I was casting out, and then dragging it in. So I mean, halibut, and it was 29 inches, but it was legal and weighed 11 pounds.
That's right.
And so like it's so fun. I love it. It's my life.
Yeah, it is. And you worked on a lot of boats, but real quick, I just want to bring in somebody who, I don't know why you and I've never hooked up together, but this guy kind of put us together, which is great. And I'm having a ball talking to you, but today is ReelQuick Saturday. We do the fish reports, and it's all sponsored by the company ReelQuick. And the guy that put this company together, Daniel Rubin, standing by right here. Daniel, welcome. Say hi to Jolene.
Good morning. Good morning, Jolene.
Good morning.
Glad to have you here. Good to see you here.
Jolene, if it's not for Daniel and his cool company and his great reel seats, we couldn't do this show on Saturday. So all hail to Daniel Rubin and the ReelQuick company. Thank you very much for being a sponsor of the show, Daniel. And thanks for hooking me and Jolene up. I don't know why we never hooked up together. It had nothing to do with her or me. It's just we've been around the same buildings for a very long time, but here we are, and this is not the last time you're on the show, Jolene. And I would love to get you and a couple of your girlfriends to come on the show again.
Sure.
And not that I'm not that guy, gang, but women in our industry is an anomaly, gang. And I want Jolene to explain to everybody that it's okay. I mean, we have Lisa, we have Tina, we have my wife, Kelly. We have a handful of young ladies that fish all the time, but really women in the industry, it's kind of intimidating, right, Jolene?
Yeah, I would say so in a lot of ways. Like that picture I sent you, I've been the only woman on boats for a long time at times. And the picture I sent you is of me like in the late 80s on the Legend. And I was like the only girl on the boat, And I think I forgot the captain. Joel Ralston was the captain.
Okay.
And
No, Joel,
so
very well.
I don't care. I'll just go fishing, I don't really like to do a lot of open parties, hardly ever out of San Diego, because I just don't like the crowd. I'm sorry to say that, but it's guys with a bunch of tackle and they don't know how to use it. Not all of them, but like I want to go on the Amigo on Monday, and I made a reservation, and it's a full moon on Monday. I mean on Thursday the 10th, and there's only 2 of us booked, and it's prime time, and I don't know why there's not any more people going out of 22nd Street on the Amigo that leaves Monday night.
Yeah, that's weird. Mark Paisano Jr. is a phenomenal fisherman. He grew up in the industry like we did. It's hard. Well, we're having the same problem with our guys, Jolene. All of our charters, nobody wants to go fishing. It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're all doing right now. But have you had a chance to look at Daniel's reel feed? Isn't that an amazing product?
Yes, it is. I met Daniel. I'm in the San Diego Rod and Reel Club, and
okay.
He was a guest speaker about a month ago, and I really like the concept, and I want to get involved, and I want to promote ReelQuick. I want to, like all my rods, Phoenix rods, old Cal Stars. I want to start getting my own custom rods made and have the ReelQuick system on them. Because one thing is that, like yesterday, I had to take a couple reels off to get repaired, and it was such a hassle, like finding the right screwdriver, unscrewing the screws and all that, and taking off the ring that was sort of stuck. So, it's not just for, it's getting your gear ready and changing your reels on a boat. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel, hang on one second. I'm going to have you talk about this afterwards. Daniel and I made a cool video at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Festival this year. Daniel and I had our booths side by side, so it was kind of cool. There was a lot of, I don't know why everyone comes to see me, but I think they were really there to see Daniel. Check this out.
All right, gang, your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen. We're down here at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, and I'm with Daniel Rubin, the creator of the ReelQuick reel seat system. This is an amazing, amazing product.
You guys, check this out. ReelQuick fishing is a dovetail connection. It is in the unlocked position for simplicity here. Comes right off the rod with a dovetail connection. No more screws, no more clamps on the back. Goes on the rod just like that, and we can lock this in place. Turn of a pin. This is strong. This is not coming off of this rod. ReelQuickFishing.com. Dave, you want to add anything to this?
The really cool part about this is the simplicity of it. I fish hard all the time. I hold my rod the proper way. I know a lot of you don't. A lot of you have your hand back here. You always want to have your hand in front of the reel. That's the way that the whole design was made to do, is do it the right way. Normally, when you grab it the right way, you're dealing with the ferrule screws right here. And when you're grabbing it and undoing it, the screws keep coming undone. There's none of that happening anymore. It's a very easy system to use the right way. I was blown away when I saw this. I thought it would add a lot of weight to the rod. Actually, it takes away a lot of the weight.
So Daniel, show everybody that system real quick while you were
love
setting
your
here.
raspy voice, man. After 3 days of screaming at the show, it's great.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
I only got one volume. It's as high as it could be.
It is. So, hey, the Tesoro 5NS. Dave just fished super hard with these reels. This is not the same one. In Alaska for 8 days. No, 8 days.
8 days. 8 days.
Jump off of a plane.
15 hours every day.
I'm in bed. You got on a plane. I wake up and you're on a boat at Catalina with the Tesoro 5NS and a G270 rod that Ron has 3 of those on his boat, I believe. So you were able to just step right back into California waters and fish with the same reel. This is probably one of the ultimate reels for sand bass.
Oh yeah.
So Dave fished everything with this.
But see the reel seat? You have to have the reel seat put on your reel. That's the key to this whole thing, gang, as he shows it to you one more time. That's a design that Daniel and his partner came up with. It's a patented design, and that holds that reel onto that rod. Like Jolene was saying, you don't need a screwdriver. You don't need you don't have to undo the ferrule screws. It's just a real clean system. Slides right on. Check it out.
Locked in place. Ooh, turn the pin with the fingernail. There's a little ball bearing and a spring detent in there. That spring or that pin can't turn on its own when you're fishing. It doesn't happen. We've been using it for 7 years, guys. Anybody with that concern, let's just build your rods the other way with the reel seat going the other way so it butts up against that hard surface in the front, and then you don't have anything to worry about anymore. But you want to be one of the cool kids on the block, do it this way so it comes out the front, and just trust that stainless steel pin that this drag on this reel could never pull that tongue up and over the pin. Just trust it. It's a better way to go. Anyways, that's the small gear. We'll show you guys some larger gear towards the end of the show.
And Daniel's going to be out at ICAST, gang, and he's going to be in the new product showcase. So keep your fingers crossed and say your prayers and everything that he gets recognized there. Because if they get the hardest thing at the new product showcase is for people to understand what he's trying to show, because you don't have a booth in the real product showcase and you can't show the product. If there's a way, an opportunity for this to be seen by the masses, then he'll win the new product of the year, no problem. But the biggest problem is going to be trying to make sure that people get to see it, Daniel. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to have the president of ICAST on the show next week, and we'll show him that video and talk about it. It's kind of weird, Jolene. The industry wants to be on my show. If you think about it, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, the industry didn't even want to talk to me. It's pretty cool. So,
hey, Dave,
I really hope you win, Daniel. It's, your heart and soul is into this.
Yeah, wouldn't that be spectacular to win that award and just get this shot off into a new universe here? It'd be super cool. I'm going for it. So, Dave, we're actually doing a duplicate display of the new product showcase in my booth with the exact same way it's going to be presented in their booth. So the main thing is I just want everybody that walks by that booth to know that we have a new product in the showcase and to understand it. Look how it works. They're only going to allow us to set that reel seat on the counter.
Right.
Yeah, we don't get to have a reel on it. We don't get to have a display. It's really kind of, we have to go through the process of letting everybody know what it is. So my main goal is to get everybody on board with that. And no, I mean, I haven't seen really anything different, new in the fishing industry in the last few years. Yeah, there's different colored lures. There's different lures. There isn't anything that's super breakthrough like this that changes the way you connect a reel to a rod that should have happened 100 years ago. So, you know what? Now is the time. 2025. Let's start a new way. It's a better mousetrap. It's stronger. It's faster. It's consistent across the board. Dave, I talked to Andrew this morning, and we're going to set up to do the ReelQuick show next Saturday. If we can work this out, we're going to go fishing with the River Cat tackle guys. It'll be super fun.
That'll be awesome. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll show up to their place on Friday, work it all out. We'll do something on Saturday. I think 11 o'clock would be the appropriate time for the show. So let's see if we can work it out. That'll be great. So I'm driving to Florida, you guys. I'm going to wish us luck. So
I'm excited that you're going to hook up with those guys at RCT. That'll be awesome, hanging out with John in the tackle stop there and doing all that cool stuff. But Daniel, take a break for a second. I want to get back to Jolene because it's pretty special to have her here with us. Jolene, you worked on a lot of different boats. Can we kind of go over that little bit of history of you working on the boats and what drove you over to go work on sport boats? I'm not that guy.
Well,
but to have a girl working on a sport boat's a big deal.
Well, I started on the Electra as a galley cook, and I was thinking, why didn't I do this a long time ago? And so I worked on that boat, I don't know, for I think 3 years. And I love helping people, especially in the summertime, the people that are on vacation and they want to go fishing. That's the first two things they want to do is go to the beach and go fishing. And then I started working I worked on the Southern Cal for Oceanside Sea Center. And that boat is, I feel there's so much history with that boat because it was built in 1947. And Joe Casiola and Ernie bought that boat, and they totally redid it. And it's a single engine screw, brand new galley, everything. And I cooked on that boat, and I loved helping people. I think definitely it's a benefit to the crew if you have a woman that knows how to fish, that cooks good, and helps up the ante as far as tips go.
Oh yeah.
And also the locals that come fishing. And then I worked on the Top Gun 80 for Bob Taft, and I love Bob Taft. And I would cook for 25 people. My first trip was a 3-day, and then I went on I was sort of like relief. Went on various trips to be part of the crew, and then I've worked on the Horizon with Bill, is it Wilkerson?
Yes.
Or Bill that owns the Malahini?
Bill Wilkerson.
And the Horizon. And that's a really nice boat. And so I worked a few trips last year, to fill in. And, it's hard work. I'm no spring chicken, but I act like one, sort of. And, I'd probably do it again.
Do me a favor, Jolene. You're saying it's a lot of hard work. When you're working for Bob Taft on the Top Gun 80, gang, listen to what time Jolene has to get up in the morning to start prepping breakfast after they've been fishing bluefin all night. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, I have to get up at 4:30, start coffee, get the bacon and the potatoes going, and I make salsa, and I bring a gallon of salsa with me, and because everyone enjoys it, and a lot of the boats, all the boats I worked on, I brought my own salsa because they just have the bottled stuff. I love sriracha, don't get me wrong, but I just add little things that I love to do, and just add to the customer service and being on a boat.
Well, think about this, gang. They're fishing all night long. So when she says she gets up at 4:30, that doesn't mean she woke up at 4. That means she left the rail of the bluefin fishing and went inside to start making breakfast. And she's on a moving platform. So the whole thing on this sport fishing thing that a lot of people don't understand, Jolene, you're like, oh, wow, you work on a sport. It's gnarly. It is gnarly. There's no 15-minute breaks. There's no lunch break.
No, I think I lost like 10 pounds working on the Top Gun 80. And, when the weather is up, it is 3 times as hard, and there's a lot of people that like get seasick and they don't have an appetite. So that's sort of like, okay, well, I don't have to cook for all 25 in bad weather.
But I want my eggs over easy while we're hitting these 8-foot swells.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dinner is the hardest part, is like making tri-tip and baked potato salad, and then doing the cleanup because you're tired from the whole day. It's like, oh God, I gotta wash these big pans, and the boat's like, oh God.
Yeah, no one can help because everybody that's working on the boat is working. So you can't.
Yeah, another thing I want to say too is that the crew works their ass off. And, like my trips, on the Pacific Voyager, I make it, like I say, minimum, mandatory, 20-25% tip to the crew. And it is total BS when I find a person that's not tipping these guys that work for so hard and take care of your fish. they're getting you out of tangles. They're double gaffing your 100-pound tuna. They're putting it in the slammer. They're taking all the fish out of the slammer and bringing it up to the dock. It's just, we got to show high appreciation for everyone that works on a boat.
And then you, having worked on the boats, the fishing part, as far as deckhands and captains and the cook and everybody, when the fish are biting, we all know how to catch them. We know how to kill the fish. When they're not biting, that's where you got to use your skill to talk to, like Jolene in the galley. She's the most leaned on person. When the fish aren't biting, everybody's coming in there to talk to her. And don't you love this? Hey, Jolene, how much longer do you think it'll be till we get into the fish? What?
Yeah, for sure. Like Max the other night on my 2-day, we were on a 3-hour drift, and I don't know if it's true, but a lot of the boats out there weren't catching. They were on fish, but they weren't biting. And, we got really fortunate to, be on a school for 3 hours on the Pacific Voyager.
But one thing I wanted to bring up, what we were talking about, is when Jolene was talking about tipping, you cannot tip towards what you caught. That's not how you tip.
Yeah.
You tip, if you're coming out on the boat, you want to bring that tip money and you're going to tip it. Now, if you get on a boat and everybody's got a cigarette hanging out of their mouth and they're in your face smoking cigarettes and there's no camaraderie and no help and no good galley service, and the galley cook hates his job and he doesn't want to be there, and everybody, then don't tip. I got you, but don't ever go on that boat again.
Right.
But always remember, if the trip costs whatever it costs, and Jolene was saying 25%, every penny that gets handed over as a tip gets split 4, 5, or 6 ways. You don't know.
Yeah.
So you go, well, I tipped him $20. Well, you didn't. You tipped him like $2.60 because everything got split up 5 or 6 ways, gang.
One of those bobs tipped $40,
Hey, you guys, where does if you win the jackpot, what do you do with the jackpot, Jolene?
You give it to the crew.
Boom.
And give them more.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times I understand you got a galley tab, you got this, you got that. Yeah, the jackpot normally we would hope it goes to the crew. I got to the point at the end of my sport fishing career where I didn't even have a jackpot on the boat because it's just so drama.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that cheat. Like the San Diego, they don't have a jackpot. A lot of the boats don't.
Drama. It just brings a whole new level of drama. Now, back in the day, I was probably the biggest criminal in the industry. Yeah, the jackpot, whatever the jackpot was, we already had split it up. We knew it was going to the boat, but
yeah, you know what? One boat, the El Patron, what they do, you get in the jackpot and you win a free trip. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's great.
I had no problem giving away free trips because I didn't own the boat.
Yeah.
Right. Give me the jackpot. I'll give you a free trip. No problem.
Yeah. Oh, I won the jackpot last year on the Native Sun. I caught a halibut for jackpot, and I gave the crew the money, and then they gave me a card for a free trip.
Yeah, beautiful.
And they have the numbers, on the card that matches the numbers at the office. So yeah, that worked out.
Absolutely. It's just when we're trying to explain to you, gang, we know everything is super expensive nowadays. We all are in on this whole thing. But when you're going to go on a boat, you better be able to tip, or don't go on the trip. Just say, hey, you know what? I can't make it this year, Jolene. Things are tight. We understand that more than coming on the boat and getting epic service all day. We cannot control the fishing and we can't control the weather, but we can control how we treat you.
Right.
So please don't go if you can't afford to tip. And we're not taking anything away from you, but gosh darn it, man, there's another person that would have taken your spot that has the ability to tip. And it's a big deal. We cannot pay the crew as an owner of a boat. We can't pay the crew what they're worth. It's just, you wouldn't be able to afford to go fishing. Yeah. So we rely on the tips big time, right, Jolene?
Yeah. You know what? It is like, I have a 3-day, August 31st that I've had forever. And I remember seeing like old pictures. Like I make a bunk buddy list and I put the price and the dates and stuff. And like, God, I don't know, like 10 years ago, a 3-day was $750, which was a lot of money back then. And now it's $1,200. And actually, the prices don't really go up that much per year. It might be $20 a day for the angler, but yeah. Hey, Daniel.
Yes.
I have a question. Are you going to be able to make different colored ReelQuick components at some time?
Dave, do you have that picture I texted you of the product stand?
Yeah, I'm going to put it up while you're showing everybody the
beautiful. So Dave, I don't have those displays at my shop there at the machinist shop because we're putting them together. Dave's going to show you a picture right now.
Okay.
Of product that we just got back for the new product showcase display if they allow me to use it. Otherwise, This is a display that's going to go on tackle store counters. Instead of having all the ReelQuick there and all the gear, we can have a reel seat on a stand and show it. So we'll be able to do red, green, blue, black, and clear. So far is what we've done. Any other colors that the anodizer can do, we'll be able to do with special order. So
okay, and another thing,
like that, Jolene, all those components should be done anodized at the same time. So if I have blue reel seats in stock and you want blue reel feet, we want to just get the order and put all of those into anodizing at the same time so they don't have any fluctuation in color.
I see.
I think Dave's got that coming up here in a second. He's trying to put that online. But yes, we absolutely will be able to do any colors available in anodizing with just a little bit of extra time, obviously, to do that.
Yeah, and another thing you mentioned that you can have your name put on them.
So absolutely everything's backwards right now on this, but as you can see, it says ReelQuick Fishing backwards on there, and we can have ReelQuick Fishing on one side and have your boat name on the other side, or have your name on this side and the boat name, or any of those. I don't have to have ReelQuick Fishing here. It's going to be obvious it's a ReelQuick reel seat. And once we start going, I'd be pleased to put your name, boat name, your mother's name, anything on there, right? Would be kind of cool. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're going to be working with Tiffany up there in Santa Barbara too. She could put your name on this rod and thread. And
when I got rods made like in the 80s, I had a guy that made my J into a fish hook that he wove into the rod. Yeah, it was cool.
Do you still have it?
I do.
See a picture of that sometime.
Yeah, it's my sand bass calico stick. I haven't used it in a long time.
Oh, well, the sand bass are back. So
yeah.
It's time ready to use it again, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Daniel, show everybody that reel. I'm trying to get this picture to load it. I'm trying a different way, but show everybody the bigger reel there. You and Jolene talk about it for a minute while I'm trying to get this picture.
No problem, Dave. So you guys, just a little freshen up on this real quick. We make two reel seats that glue on. A 23 millimeter reel seat. It covers the 12 to 60 pound setups. And then we have a 27 millimeter reel seat that covers the 60 to 130 setups. This is a 1x3 rail rod OSP. And I'm showing the Okuma because Okuma sponsors Dave's beautiful show here. So I just want to be a part of that. And I love these Okuma reels now. They're beautiful. This is what do we got? A McCarty 30 on this. I am going to slide this on and off the rod just so you guys see that again. And for anybody that's new on the show right now, it is now in the unlock position, and this just comes right off the rod.
Nice.
You guys, it doesn't come right off the rod when you're fishing. Believe me, we have a pin that holds this in place. So here's the pin. There's a flat slot cut out of that pin. And when we turn the pin in the lock position, there's this, it turns the round part up into the top there, up into, tell me if you could see that, Jolene.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so there's the half moon right there. Now this reel, I think at the most is going to pull 55 pounds of drag or something like that. That in order to bend this aluminum up and over that pin to set loose is probably going to be 300, 400, 500 pounds. I pulled on it. We've got 100 pounds so far. I just didn't want to break anything. We have more people asking us to do another test and break it. I'm probably going to do that soon, but just trust me, you guys, we've been fishing this gear for 7 years and it's not going to be able, no fish, no reel is going to be able to pull that aluminum tongue over the top of that pin. It can't happen.
Here it is. I got your picture loaded finally.
Okay, awesome. There it is. Look at that.
Oh, nice.
So the blue, you know, we did the base in blue. That's aluminum. So you'll be able to get a reel seat in that color. The black on the foot is what we've been doing since the beginning. And now we see a red one here. I believe, I haven't been to the shop yet, but I believe we have a blue one, a red one, a green one, a clear one, and a black one now. So anybody who wants those colors, we'll be able to do it. We'll be able to make the feet the same color too. Everything we have right now is in black, but we are going to be moving to this these options. Thanks for showing that, Dave. It looks really good.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sorry it took so long to get it up there. I'm sorry. So, Jolene, you got any openings on any trips coming up?
Yeah, I do. I have a few openings on my 3-day, and it leaves Sunday, August 31st. And then we get back Wednesday the 3rd. And the 1st of September is Labor Day. And we go out of Seaforth on the Pacific Voyager. It's $1,200 and includes all your food and camaraderie and probably some yellowfin tuna.
And how do we get a hold of you if we want to go? Is there an email address? Is there some way to get a hold of you? I'm not giving out your phone number on here.
No, that's
There's
fine.
too many weirdos.
You can friend me on Facebook, Jolene Thompson, and then message me on Messenger.
Now we got a lot of people that don't have Facebook, so
okay.
If you guys want,
I can give them my email.
Go.
So it's msjolenethompson@gmail.com. JOLENETHOMPSON@gmail.com.
Did you guys get that? That was pretty fast.
Sorry.
Slow it down a little bit one more time. I think there's some people here that want to fish with you. I know Lisa wants to fish with you.
Okay, cool. All right. Hi, Lisa. Okay.
She just friended you on Facebook. So
great.
She'll accept it.
My email is msjolenethompson@gmail.com.
Perfect, gang. And you guys got to get a hold of Jolene. This isn't the last time Jolene's going to be with us. We'll bring her back on the show. She's definitely fun to hang out and talk to, gang. ReelQuick Fishing. We can't do the show, like I said, on Saturdays without Daniel's support. And I thank you, Daniel, and your partner for being here for us. If you guys want to check out all the great products over there, all you have to do is grab that QR code I threw up on the screen right underneath my chin. And you can go over there and you can see all these great products we're talking about. This is a new deal, so it's hard for some of you to wrap your head around it if you haven't seen it or touched it or felt it. I just put out, 46 videos the last 2 weeks of me, Ron, and Pat fishing with this system, gang. I'll tell you what, we caught over 1,600 fish in 8 days. And the only thing we used was the ReelQuick system. So I can promise you, if you know how to hold your fishing pole, this product works flawlessly. And the really cool part about it is it lightens up the rod. The rod itself, when you catch that many fish and you fish that hard for 8 days straight, 15 hours a day, your arm starts to get worn out just by holding the rod. But this rod is so light now with the ReelQuick system on it. It's hard to imagine. And Jolene, you got to touch it. You got to see it when you were at the show in San Diego. It is an absolute phenomenal thing. Any of you guys that have a fishing club or a fishing group out there that you need a speaker to come and show you some cool stuff,
Please.
reach out to Daniel. He wants to
Yeah.
come to your club and show you this system. Reach out. We're right here. You can call me. You can get a hold of Daniel through the QR code. We'll set you up with Daniel. We'll get this in your hand so you can see what it's all about. And then I'm sure Daniel's going to put a couple of them in your hand, Jolene, so you could start fishing with them because people kind of know who you
Yeah,
are.
I definitely want to.
It'd be kind of fun, Daniel, to get them out there and get them with them.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Have
Dave.
you,
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for all that.
have you been on the Phil Friedman show yet?
Or Jolene, me?
No, Jolene has. You, Daniel Rubin.
Both of us have. Yes. Jolene was just telling me, and I've been on Phil Friedman too, and we're going back to meet him. Super nice guy, super fun. I'd love to let's
Yeah,
get us
how
all
long-
together, man. This
How
is
long
it's,
ago, Daniel?
it's Southern California fishing, guys. There's people in this industry for years and years and years that haven't bumped into each other like Dave and Jolene. You guys should have been together years ago, fishing and traveling together. And I just met Jolene last month, and she's just turning out to be a dear friend. It's awesome. Digging it so much.
You had a
Likewise.
question for Daniel, Jolene.
Yeah. When were you on?
Oh, it's been 3 months, I guess now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was on.
I'm going to go back on
probably-
now. He wants me to come back on now that
Yeah.
we've developed
Yeah,
a
for
little bit
sure.
more down the road.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
Well-
was on about 3. I love Phil. He's great. I went on his 8-day on the Independence last year. I'm going this year. He's just a great guy. He has over 4 million views.
Yeah, he's doing good. I love Phil. Him and I worked together since the 80s. So he's a great human being. I've been on his show many, many times. He's interviewed me many times. Gang, you want to go follow Phil Freeman. He does a great deal in the morning. He kind of sums up what's happened all day. It's kind of a cool thing to go listen to and watch him in the morning. I like to watch him when I'm having my coffee in the morning, just in case and I know it's hard to believe, but I actually miss stuff once in a while. I don't know exactly what's going on all the time. I check out Phil Freeman and I try to help him as much as I can to build his channel and get to the level. I don't know what I did right. I did something right. I got over 800,000 followers. I get
Cool.
30 million views a month.
Oh my God. Damn.
It's pretty insane. I got a video on Insta right now that has 78 million views. One video.
Jeez, Dave.
It does. I don't know, Jolene. It must be my smart ass mouth. I don't know what it is, but
Oh, well,
it's kind of weird.
You know what it is.
Yeah, and I keep bringing in. I bring in great guests like you and Daniel and all the other people in the industry. So it's kind of cool. But Daniel, I think your next move is to be on that Tackle Confessions with Sam. And Sam's a good friend of mine too.
Yeah.
There's a great video on my website, yoursaltwaterguide.com. That gives you a tour of island tackles and you get to meet Sam and see what he's all about. And he's on Phil's show. I think it's on Wednesday nights on Tackle Confessions. It's kind of a cool deal. And it would be bitching for you to be on that, Daniel, because they make
we'll work towards that. And I think they do some raffling off of some stuff too that I'll have to work out a ReelQuick rod into there would be super awesome. So
yeah, I told him this morning, I texted him and told him I was going to be on the show.
All right, perfect.
Very good.
So, gang, anything you have for Jolene or Daniel, we'll answer a few questions here at the end. I don't know if I missed anything, Jolene. If you saw any questions come through on the side, I got so much going on.
I haven't even been looking.
I always go back, Jolene, and I go back and read everything and answer after the show. And I go to all the platforms, because if you're on Facebook, you don't get to see what's going on the YouTube and stuff, the whole thing.
And here's
go through all of them and look at the comments and do that. Dave, I just wanted to mention one thing. If they go on the website with that QR code or just go on there, my name and phone number is at the top of every page. If it's confusing or if it's this or that, and you just want to talk about what we have available and it's too much to do the research, call me. I'll talk to you for hours about it. I was on the phone. I had to go to Mammoth Lakes yesterday and back, a 15-hour drive. And I spoke to somebody that called me from the website. We spoke for 4 hours on the way back. We have somebody that potentially could start doing the manufacturing for us, and he's super excited about it. I met him at the West Coast Sport Fishing Show, and he called me yesterday, and we just chatted for hours on the road. So I'm available, you guys. If you guys have any questions, please call. Don't hesitate to call.
And Jolene, just so you know, tell all your friends and everybody, this show is live on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Megaphone, Rumble, X, and Threads. And so it's hard.
You bet.
So any of your friends that have any social media at all, they can go and watch you. And then when you're with all your free time, which none of us have any, you can go back and answer any of the comments, maybe find some people that want to go fishing with you. There's lots of comments. I see them on Facebook. I see them on Instagram, and I see them on YouTube. Lots of comments. So you can go in there and mix it up with everybody. And then all of you that watched the show today, if you enjoyed this at all, do us a huge favor for all of us. Share this with your friends. Share this with everybody that you know that's into fishing. Share, and like, and hit the notification button. You don't want to miss any of the great shows we got coming up. I'm going to have the guide that took me peacock bass fishing in Florida. David Cohen's going to join us on Wednesday on our live show. On Tuesday with Michael Folks, we're going to have another legend joining us. On Monday, I'll have Justin and Pablo and Al and everybody talking about what they've been doing all week and trying to get you guys to go fishing. On Friday, I'll have Glenn Hughes, the president of ICAST and the president of ASA, will be my guest. He's a good friend and a great promoter of the sport fishing industry. He's trying to save fishing just like we all are. And then I'm going to be live on the show floor at ICAST every day at 3:00. I have a podcast booth, and I'm going to be there live, and we're going to be bringing in the biggest names in the industry at ICAST coming on the show. We got Josh from Blacktip H. He's going to be on the show with us. We got supposedly we're supposed to have Mike Iaconelli. We'll see if he's not too busy, but we got a lot of big names coming on the show at ICAST. It should be fun. I want to thank Jolene and Daniel for joining me today. What a fun day. What a fun show. What a great way to start your weekend, everybody. And look at Jolene. It looks absolutely gorgeous in Oceanside. Just like growing up.
Yeah, it is.
They light off those fireworks, and then all the
oh my God, it was terrible last night.
All the clouds leave, though, every year right after that. No more June gloom, and it's back to summertime in Oceanside.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. My dog didn't like it.
No, I'm sure.
Sonny and Oxnard.
There you go. Beautiful Sonny and Oxnard. Jolene, have you seen Marley, my little monkey?
I have a few times.
There he is, right up there. He's watching you the whole time. He's hanging out.
All right.
Little Marley.
Hey, Marley.
Whoa, he's fast. He is fast today.
How old is he?
He's 5 years old.
Okay.
And he's 8 inches tall, full grown. Everybody that comes to our house in Cabo and meets him, they're like, I had no idea he was that little. Yeah. This cup is twice his size. All right, everybody.
Dave, I can't believe how many comments we got today going on here.
It's Jolene, come on.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Turn off the news. They're all lying. This is the only place you get the truth. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Good day, guys.
Thank you so much, Dave and Daniel.
My pleasure.